Welcome to the first episode of the Best Friends podcast. My name is Podcast Jim, and I am doing the inaugural episode by myself because my companion is busy doing other things. And we have very conflicting schedules at the moment. So I am taking this one on solo, and I thought, what better way to start off this podcast than with something that I am very passionate about, and that is cartoons that have gotten reboots. In the last year. Now, I am a fan of the old school 2000s Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, Cartoon Network shows. So, with with times, the new generation of kids, comes a new generation of TV shows that speaks to the newer generation of kids. Now, when I was growing up, I used to watch shows like Coding Kid Next Door, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and so on and so forth. Now, what do these shows have to do with today's generation of children? Well, you all might know that they did a reboot show of the Powerpuff Girls. Now, the Powerpuff Girls the original Powerpuff Girls was. Sorry, I'm reading about the little tidbit. The Powerpuff Girls consist of, that aired in the early 2000s, followed these three girls, Bubbles, Blossom, and Buttercup, and their father, professor, whatever you want to call him, and they fought crime in the town of whatever town they lived in. Okay, let's see if we can. I'm sorry, I forgot where I left off. I went on a tangent. Let's move on to another show that got a reboot called Teen Titans, premiered back on July 19th, 2003. And it got the most terrible reboot I've ever seen. It is, in the original Teen Titans, the characters are more like the colors, the characters themselves. The colors are dark, the characters themselves are like darker and more moody and stuff. Then, when it got its adaptation, when it got a reboot to Teen Titans Go, they completely did a 180 and decided to make it big and colorful and the characters dumb and annoying, and I don't know. The character designs for the rebooted Teen Titans Go, the character designs are terrible. I don't know what the writers were thinking. Because I'm pretty sure the same people who did the original Teen Titans said, yeah, okay, we can make a new Teen Titans that speaks to the new generation of kids. I just don't like it. It's icky and it's, I don't know. I don't like the character designs. I mean, they all sound the same from the original. I think it's the same cast from the original. Yeah, Tara Strong is Raven. Yeah, it's the original cast from Teen Titans who did Teen Titans Go. But in my opinion, it was awful and I don't know, left a bad taste in my mouth. So the Powerpuff Girls reboot and the Teen Titans Go reboot, 4 out of 5 stars. I'm gonna give it a negative. I'm gonna give it like a 3 out of 5 stars for the, for those being reboots. But Teen Titans Go is on 9 seasons, so they must be doing something right. It's still going. It's still headstrong. It's still going strong. But if I could just make a suggestion, please, 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 for the love of God, I don't even think. For the love of God, please don't touch Courage the Cowardly Dog, Ed and Nettie, The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, because The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack is already an odd show. It's already a weirdo show. Let's not make it more weird. Okay, another show that got a reboot was the new Fairly Odd Parents. Fairly Odd Parents. That aired on Cartoon Network back on March 30th of 2001. Which follows the story of a little boy who gets bullied by a babysitter, who has an evil babysitter, and he gets bullied to the point where he wishes for magical floating godparents that grant his wish, so that he could be a kid and get away from the hustle and bustle and torture from his evil babysitter Vicky. But now the original show is fan-freaking-tastic. We got so many like hour-long episodes. We got movies. We got everything out of the old Fairy Odd Parents, including a reboot of the Fairy Odd Parents. Now, I love Butch Hartman. He was the creator of he is the creator of the Fairy Odd Parents, is and always will be the creator of the Fairy Odd Parents. And we got Tara Strong, who is Timmy Turner, and Poof, which is Cosmo and Wanda's baby. Now we go into the reboot of the Fairy Odd Parents, which is Fairy Odd Parents. No, that's a live action. It's Fairly Odd Parents, Fairly Odder, which only lasted for a season. That aired March 31st, 2022. Roy accidentally wishes he was a puppet and is unable to wish himself back to being a real boy. Viv has to pretend she is the puppet master. Okay, so the synopsis, I can't speak to save my life. The synopsis for this show is Ty Turner uproots his life to reunite with Rachel Laskin, thrusting his cautious daughter Viv into a new world where she does not fit in. Viv's cousin Timmy trusts his fairy godparents, Wanda and Cosmo, to help her adjust. So we got a Timmy Turner, and now he has a cousin. He has a cousin in this. Which is very strange. That's the live action season. I don't think it made it because it's only one season. Yeah. It only lasted a season. Because here it is. Here we go. Because it's a live action. It's a live action show, which God bless Butch Hartman for all that he does and all that he will do. But yeah, it's just a very odd show to have. And now we come to the Fairy Godparents A New Wish, which is another reboot. And in this one, Pooh, who is the little baby from Fairy Godparents, is all grown up and he has his own kid that he takes care of. So, and the overview for this show is when 10-year-old Hazel Wells tries to run away from home, she finds out her weird neighbors, Cosmo and Wanda, are fairy godparents in disguise. Huh. Weird. I mean, I heard this show is amazing. I mean, there's some reboots that flop on their faces. Other times, they do pretty damn good. But yeah. Back to what I was saying about like reboots and back in the kids, if you're listening to this from the other room, why are you listening? There is gonna be lots of cuss words throughout this podcast season. But the back in the early 2000s, that's what, I had a hard time in middle school. I was bullied by teachers. My teachers were bullying me. Now that could be another episode. Getting bullied by the teachers. But I was bullied by my teachers a lot. I don't know why. This one teacher had a grudge. She I don't know. I don't know why. She was just a crabby old lady that just had it up for not only me but for the entire class that I was in. Anyway, the best part about coming home after a hard day at school is turning on the TV and seeing The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, or Codename Kids Next Door, or the old school Boomerang. Seeing episodes of the Flintstones or whatever old school Boomerang show was on at that time. That was just easy. I could just turn off my brain and watch those TV shows, and everything will be alright in the world. Hell, They had reruns of the Rugrats playing on TV. Back when I was growing up. So during the early 2000s, let's go on to another show talking about best shows in the 2000s. We got Total Drama Island. With several spin-offs and a revival, it's not too far-fetched to say that Total Drama continues to be one of the best Cartoon Network shows from the 2000s. The Survivor-like animated series is essentially a fictional depiction of reality TV, with each season revolving around a group of teenagers who join a competition and try to avoid elimination. The original Total Drama Island. That was like the best show ever to come home to and watch. Now, here's another show from 2002 to 2005. You guys may remember The Flea. It's The Flea. That's right. At number 29 for the best, counting down to number 1. At number 29 for the best early 2000s TV shows is Mucha Lucha, coming in at number 29. Mexican wrestling is one of the country's famous cultural exports, present in everything from WWE, thanks to wrestlers like Rey Mysterio, to Hollywood movies like Nacho Libre in 2002. Cartoon Network did its own spin on the sport with the animated show Mucha Lucha, which was also the first ever series created by Macromedia Flash. It's set in the town of Luchaville, where almost every resident wears a Lucha Libre costume and has a signature move. I know, that sounds kind of stupid. You know, seeing the show, I mean, hearing about it, it sounds kind of stupid, but actually watching it, like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. Not only is Mucha Lucha among the best wrestling TV shows, but it's also the first Western animated series focused on pro wrestling. Mucha Lucha stars Ricochet, Buena Girl, The Flea, and El Rey, students at the foremost world-renowned International School of Lucha. Though not as well remembered as many of the other best Cartoon Network shows from the 2000s, Mucha Lucha over-the-top depiction of the Mexican art of Lucha Libre makes it a must-see. And it's streaming on Amazon. Or you could probably buy the complete series. Who cares? I love Mucha Lucha. And, the woman who does the voice for the Flea and for the Flea in the show is, she voices many characters in Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. She's amazing. I love her so much. I follow her on Instagram. Next, at number 28, for the best, well, I wouldn't say the best TV show, it's kind of meh, is a show called Chowder, which aired from 2007 to 2010. The 2000s were an interesting time for animated kid shows and the genre for moving away from one of the risque humors of 1990s, offering like Ren and Stimpy and into safe territory. This is what makes Chowder, released in 2007, feel like an oddity. Cheddar isn't about the popular soup, but it does involve an inspiring young cook named Cheddar. Now, this isn't the best TV show, but it's one that I can, he's crazy. I like the animation. I like the Rocco, whatever the hell his name is. I like the colors, I like the animation, I like the patterns that move. If you look at Cheddar's hat, or clothes, or anybody, or any other character's clothes or something, you can see that the patterns move with the characters in that show, which is by far the best. Animation. Good animation, and golf claps for Charlie. Next, we have, I had to skip quite a few episodes to try and get to, a good one. This list is crap. I don't agree with the list, but here we go. Number 24 for the best early 2000s show is Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. With original series creator Craig McCracken already working on the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends reboot, there's no better time to rewatch what many consider one of the best 2000s Cartoon Network shows, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Foster's Home represents the onset of truly surreal storytelling in Cartoon Network regular programming. In this world, where imaginary friends are physically real and coexist with humans, a young boy named Mac is pressured by his mother to abandon his imaginary friend Blue. They soon discover a foster home for abandoned imaginary friends. As long as Mac visits Blue there, he is safe from adoption. A heartwarming premise that gives way to hilarious narratives. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends was also notable not just for its hilarity and incredibly unique animation style, even by Cartoon Network standards, but also because it had more tear-jerking and genuine emotional moments than any other show on the network at the time. What can I say about Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends? Well, the animation style, the colors, the craziness, yeah, I like the voice actors for the entire Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, show. And I can't wait for the reboot. Hopefully, I hope it stays a little the same. I don't know. I don't know much about it. But here's another show that I hope to God that it doesn't get a reboot, because it should leave sleeping dogs lying, whatever the fuck that quote is. But this next show is a real doozy. Well, in some capacity. And that show is The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Yeah, this show is something that, I really hated, but then I grew to love this show, Billy and Mandy. the reason why I hated it is because the main character, Billy, is such a dope, but I understand why they're not bringing the show to the new generation of kids, because yeah, Billy is a dope, and it's kind of scary. For the new generation of kids, it's kind of scary, and yeah. But back then in the early 2000s, I think as kids we built different. This show, made who we are. Along with, like, after Billy and Mandy came on and we were all scared shitless, Codename Kid Next Door would come on right after Billy and Mandy, depending if you had cable or not, which I had cable growing up, so I got to watch all the shows. Yeah, so the next show that would come on after Billy and Mandy, after we all got scared shitless by the horror adventures that Billy and Mandy and Grimm took, we have the Codename Kid Next Door. No list of the best Cartoon Network shows from the 2000s would be complete without Codename Kid Next Door. It really brings into perspective about, when I was little, I wanted to build a giant ass treehouse and save kids from grueling adults. What kid wouldn't want to save other kids from growing up to be boring adults and building machines that can help defeat boring adults? And there's like different bases. This show had everything. It had action, it had explosions. What kid doesn't like explosions? In cartoon form, no less. This show was like top of the line, amazing. Ugh. I wish parents today would give Codename Kid Next Door a chance. But today's parents, just like they had an opinion on when Ren and Stimpy came out. Those parents were like, "Oh, what a horrid show! I wouldn't let my kids watch this." Nose up in the air, turning head away. Yeah. Action and adventure and, come on, let's be honest. Number 3 and 4 definitely had a crush on each other. Well, I think number 4 had a crush on number 3. But, if you know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. If you don't know, then you need to watch the show and decide that romance for yourself. And of course, number 5, having a huge crush on number 1 towards the ending of the show. Yeah. Let's see. I don't really have much to say on. Okay, here we go. Yawn. Sorry. Warning, I'm sorry to make everybody sleepy. The next TV show that I really enjoy. It's a good thing I have my coffee. Happy St. Patrick's Happy St. Patty's Day to everybody. I am recording this on March 17th, by the way. I forgot to say that in the beginning. Now let's move on to another show that parents today would be like, hell no, you're not watching this. The show is stupid. The characters are dumb. And that show is being Ed and Eddie. Created by Danny Antonucci, Ed and Eddie was a show that some considered one of the best Cartoon Network shows of the 90s. But it only aired for 1 year in that decade. However, it was around for the entire decade of the 2000s, lasting until 2009. Now let's all agree that parents today, if they saw Ed and Eddie, they would be like, oh, heck no. We are not letting, Jessica Jr., Small Fry McQuack, watch the TV show. Watch this TV show. This show is idiotic and barbaric and full of, it's stupid humor. That's what I can't fucking speak. That's what Ellen and Eddie is about. The stupid humor. That's what made it the best TV show to watch. That's what made it fun. The colors are amazing for one thing. The design of the characters for another. I mean, the theme song, for goodness sake. I mean, the theme song was like, if you like, it doesn't need any words to explicit to implicate what an amazing show that was. I am losing my voice. But anyway, good show, fun, dumb, stupid humor. Who doesn't love big, dumb, stupid humor stuff? But let's move on. Now, this show is 27. This show aired the year I was born, and it ended in 2004. This show is 27 years old. We're both old. And that show is called Johnny Bravo. Long before concepts like toxic masculinity entered the cultural lexicon, Cartoon Network's Johnny Bravo explored the extremes of unrestrained male ego and somehow managed to make it appropriate for kids. Yeah, it definitely crossed the line. It teetered on that line, not crossed it. It just kind of teetered on the edge of it. Johnny Bravo got its start in 1997, but it was one for more years as one of the Cartoon Network shows in the early 2000s, lasting until 2004. The series had Johnny Bravo as a muscular guy who went on strange adventures with his 5-year-old neighbor Susie. He also often went on adventures with special guests, including the original Batman, Adam West. May he rest in peace, Adam West. Yeah. Now that I read it aloud, it was kind of weird. A grown man went on adventures with his 5-year-old neighbor. Now, as a girl in the early 2000s, from 2005 to 2008, I was told that this was a boys' show. Girls were not allowed to watch Ben 10. That was a boys' show. I got told that from many boys in school. And I could give two shits, because Ben 10 was an amazing show. I loved Ben 10. It was not a boy show. I also watched the Power Rangers, which I was told was a boy show. But tough shit. So what if it's a boy show? Girls can love it too. I had amazing friends who stood up for me back then. Male friends who stood up for me back then. But Ben 10 is about a boy who finds a watch. It's about a boy who goes to a meteor crash landing site and finds a watch that, you know, that I don't know what it. I think it. I forgot what it did. I think it molded to his wrist and mixed with his DNA, kind of like a Danny Phantom kind of way. The watch grabbed hold of his left of his wrist and molded, like intertwined with his DNA, mixed his DNA with the alien DNA that was in the watch, and yeah, he went around fighting crime as different alien dudes. What? Oh, doesn't that sound like an amazing thing? And they had many other Ben 10 shows after the original Ben 10 because it was such an amazing show. But the original, nothing can, nothing will ever replace the original. Yeah, that was at the time, that was the only show that had aliens and a boy. I mean, besides Danny Phantom, but that was with ghosts. Anyway, moving on to a classic, Pokemon, 2006 to 17, the original Pokemon. While Pokemon was not in the original Cartoon Network series, the network picked it up when it left Kids WB. Oh my god, Kids WB. Ugh. After the 2005 season, Cartoon Network then aired all new Pokemon episodes. So that was fun. And then at number 8, we have Courage the Cowardly Dog. And that only lasted for a few seasons. I don't know why, but and then after a long time, I think it was like 2 years ago, Courage the Cowardly Dog and the Scooby-Doo Mystery Gang merged into one movie, and that movie was pretty cool. I love that movie. The crossover between Courage and Scooby and two dogs coming together, solving the mystery of what is happening on Courage's farm. Yeah, just to see the Mystery Gang in the universe of Courage the Cowardly Dog, with all the original voice actors from Courage the Cowardly Dog. That was an amazing show. I loved it so much. And coming in at number 1, we have Samurai Jack from 2001 to 2017. And I have to confess, I have no idea what the hell this show is about. I never watched it. Well, there we have it. There's my long rant about the best TV shows in the early 2000s, why I hate the reboots, why I hate reboots of TV shows, and can't wait for the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends reboot. I'm tempted to watch it. But if you have listened this long, I would like to say thank you so much for sticking through until the end. I know I talk a lot. I hate talking by myself because it's boring and everything, but I promise whenever me and my compadre of the Best Friends podcast can get together, we will do a podcast together. If I would like to, I don't have any sponsors. I would like to thank all of you for listening to me ramble and talk and talk and talk. I know I can talk a lot. But, thank you. I wanted to do a solo episode. Thank you for making this inaugural podcast a good one. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Don't drink too much and don't drink and drive. That's an important message. Don't drink and drive, even if it's a national. For St. Patrick's Day, don't drink and drive, because that's not safe. Anyway, have a safe, happy, healthy St. Patty's Day. Paddy, P-A-T-D instead of T-T. And I will catch y'all in the next episode.